It's gonna rain on me and you, right through the blue till the day I die. It's gonna rain through the black, so we off the tracks in the midnight sky. And never before we suffered like this through the morning mist on the way to the oh God, what have I done to keep my place right in the sun when so many people, if I look around, can't tell the difference between music and sound. All those lonely people aren't really lonely at all. They're just in the city, waiting for it to tumble and fall. For those who it rains on all the time and need another life. The sun might shine 2 days a week, the rest is only strife. Oh good God, what have I done to keep my place right in the sun when so many people, if I look around, can't tell the difference between music and sound. Me as a poet, started off writing for something called the Parade Society at Eton, which is funny because Parade was a guy in the 1800s, I think, who was, as far as I can tell, Eton's most notorious alcoholic paedophile of a teacher. Poetry for me is playing with language, and it's playing with concepts and how the two interact. And it's funny because even if I read the poems, say, when I was 15, maybe it's just me loading it with hindsight, but actually I knew more than what I was aware of at the time.
I am an actor. Most of the time I'm an actor, I should say. Some of the time I'm just a pain in the ass. I am lying. I am an actor, and theater is my passion. It has been for a very, very, very long time. But so has law. So have intellectual pursuits.
There is the running criticism of A. Hoosman, however his name is pronounced, that all of his poems seem to revolve around pubs. Grew up around the City of London, and the interesting thing about all of the pubs around Fleet Street and that area is any of them of sufficient age can claim to be the favourite pub of a poet or author or playwright. You know, you've got Samuel Johnson's favourite pub in the form of the Cheshire Cheese, Charles Dickens' favourite pub in the form of whatever the hell it's called, I can't remember actually. I think certainly figures of the past in poetry have spent a lot of time in pubs.
Sweet longings and temperance, lavender and jasper, what swirlings dwell in my heart's casing. There is an ecstasy, sister, ignited in the belly of my fire, a heavenly rejoicing, a needle most gentle. What must I do but holler at the sun so that my palish outsides might smile golden and match my insides' glowing joys? It is a magic that swings me like a child at play, muddied and singing and happy to breathe. Mine eyes are bonny and gay from a good man's clasp. I am trembling and petrified from such flowering brands of untamed sorcery. I am in love. Finally and truly, I am basking and sighing in heart pangs and giddiness, smiling at grass like some lunatic fool, my brown cheek flushed like a silly girl child, and my feet won't stop moving, jitterbugging away. What gentle storm is he, wind so warm and so constant in my hands, tropical breezes and delicate rain. What elemental beauty is this man in love? This is the will of some grandmother, the kind wish of an old star. I will then answer her gratitude and cast arms from my heart. I am ready then, my rainy man. So love me as your drizzles love trees, and I will kiss the very droplets of your being.
Yeah, so I used to get really badly bullied because I had red hair, and I think because I think when you get bullied, you become so intensely shy. It's horrible because you become so introvert in a way. Like, you have so much to give in front of people, but you can't express it in words. But in your head, you're just like talk, like you scream at yourself in your head, but you just can't do it. I don't know, it's strange, but it's horrible. But then it drives you as a person, definitely. I'm kind of getting into acting, because I used to acting when I was a lot younger, but that was I wasn't really into it then. Mum just did it for me to have my confidence and stuff. But then when I came to uni and stuff, I was in a play. It was last August, and it was Detroit. And I guess that just gave me a buzz.
Scene 1 and scene. One young man of 21 by a river in a copse 'neath a tree, with a glass of Cote de Rhone, no more than 80 miles from home. He's filled with absence, writing nonsense, all experience haunted and free. Welcome inside, it's barren and cluttered. That man is I, this man is me. While I sit upon my arse and ponder what lies beyond distant hill, I know the grass is greener yonder. I've been here, I've had my fill. But it's bullshit, I've seen it. I've been everywhere and know every cross. It's not a large place we're confined, perhaps no larger than your mind. Patterns repeat, they repeat still. I know all of the greener pastures, I know every dark satanic mill. I know the roads that lead to disasters. I've been here, I've had my fill. My friends self-medicate, liberate with pills and powders, shots and beer. I know the appeal, weary though I am. I've done likewise, I've been here. But I found comfort in another pint glass, I found solace in another pill. Well, fuck this, if this is freedom, I've been here, I've had my fill. I've let go, I've unloaded it all, in all, sitting and prone and up against walls. I've fucked like we all have, I'm fucked like we all are. I know this room, I've walked this hall. I've writhed within 100 bodies, I've taken pride in every kill. I've had 1,000 sexual hobbies, I've been here, I've had my fill. I've been clothier, cobbler, tailor. I've tried my hand at every skill. I've weaved a carpet of my failure. I've been here, I've had my fill.
Hamwood Park, the house I grew up in and spent most of my childhood as a little mascot for the volunteer team restoring it. It was once, well, it was bought by Jimmy Page for the band Led Zeppelin. I've heard supposedly because it's on a 5-pointed triangle of geographical locations where Jimmy Page owned or owns houses.
I see each thing as just itself that has ability to circle all the others, painting word as picture. I hear the music of life washing through us like a wave that greets the shore, breaking up my signal. Here, my wanderlusting mind moves up on and seen, waving like a tree in wind, following the sun and stopping time, just a second, in command I am.
I get passionate about a lot. I'm a lover of everything, arts, in science. There's a lot of things that really work out my passion. Anything that's real, anything that can be linked, anything spiritual, anything deep is something that will definitely I bond myself to. I'm involved in so many different aspects of life. Like I was part of a Pan-African group for a while, performing with them and listening to their stories and getting in touch with their culture. It's anything, absolutely anything can capture my passion.
A child's toy has taken her life, plus many more, as she knocks on doors of men who unsuspecting lie and creep into darkness to find her light. She looks for an antidote to pain in murder, sex, and sudden rain. She has no family but herself, feels the cold through a night's currency of love. She lives in the barn alone with her dolls. She speaks to her beauties and believes they talk back. They do, and they tell her too. They tell her to kill at their will, and she answers through frolicking shock and shack. But in a world of betrayal and loneliness, secrecy and lies, the dolls have instrumentally played her soul and buried her crown of sighs. It's scary how a world of isolation can play with their mind. But in a country where folks survive, it's easy to understand how the devil appears through her cold white dolls, her liquids that she feeds them so that she may sleep and steal away their dreams for hers. Her fire is burning. She sees a man. Their eagle eyes are glaring light. Her records keep playing. In the town that she lost herself in the town that she has lost herself in, she has become all the women. All the women. And the men have become her dolls. Enticed by her silence and engulfed in her bed. It won't run out until she dies. Which they hope is soon with her praying eyes. She'll carry on listening to her children, the dolls who gave her light. The dolls who gave her life. Empowered by the men she has made merry, her mad life creeps.
Funny how, when I want to see the world clearer, I close my eyes. Like the truth needs the backdrop of my eyelids to prophesize and to filter out the lies highlighted by the sun. Ain't it strange that when life gets too much and our shoulders sag in the stress and our eyes weep our distress, the only syllables we can tie together to mutter is, I'm tired. Have you ever stopped to notice when our unprotected, unsuspected ears hear those world-wrecking words, those life-skewering, heart-altering, machete-shaped statements, filled with sorrow, always laced with regret how they always seem to hit your legs first, like your body was literally throwing you into sleep. But I could almost swear my body wants to dream more than me. And the dreams, walking, breathing paradoxes. For all dreams are lies, unless they are not dreams. And if dreams are honest, what do we make of reality? They fascinate me. These nonsensical visions that to me take the form of a beast, horribly magnificent, monstrous indeed, we are their daring riders, leeching away from reality on their all-consuming backs, being flung helplessly, for we are slack, happily at mercy of these beasts instead of trying to piece together a puzzle already complete. We dream greedily, treating our subconscious like a TV equipped with Sky, believing in better. It gets better. We hide our dark side, our savage counterparts, the animal in us, the devil within, that lives and breathes with as much vigorous velocity as an angel, that can at any time try with the righteous might of a raging storm to make us forlorn. Arms outstretched, reaching for something to protect and shield us from this evil that has overwhelmed and transformed our night. We start to repeat a line like a mantra, trying to force ourselves to believe that all of this is just a dream. Yet even in our wake, our heart beats with rapid consecutive movements. Drum, 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 hands shaking, skin perspirating, mouth tight from wanting, that our spirit shakes in fear that what we saw is a premonition of things coming near. The fear, the wants, the desires are all ours. Lost in myths and make-believes, fighting and losing to ourselves, our own person. Such are dreams. Such are nightmares. Such could be our reality if we chose. But all dreams are lies, unless they are not dreams. And if dreams are honest, what do we make of reality? They fascinate me. Funny how? Ain't it strange? Have you ever stopped to notice? My body wants to dream more than me.
My grandmother's illness has been a big part of my life for the last year. And to be honest, it almost dwarfs everything else. Her name is Cynthia. Her real name is Lestina, but she hates Lestina, so she gets everybody to call her Cynthia. She was born in Jamaica. She came to school in the UK, similar to me. My grandmother is probably one of the most intelligent people I know. She wanted to study literature and languages, but typical to the time, her father said, a very sort of typical Jamaican man, that's not a place for a young black woman to be. What can be said at the death of a loved one? The heart tears and words are clumsy, and what can be found in the wake of a loved one's passing but the lamentations and regrets from the many left behind? It seems a pain that ushers from the belly of the soul, as the notion of a loved one's unbecoming solidifies with every second. But what then can be said at the loss of a grandmother? Of my grandmother, a woman of delicate flame, whose hindered thirst for knowledge and the divine I feel every time I look in the mirror. I am ill-equipped to express her soul's beauty. I know not the words to retell her physical elegance, and I have not the breath to uplift her mental grace. I am a dumbfounded youth, and I miss my grandma. She was magnificent. A first-rate woman with a steel-trap mind, a glacial wit, and impishness to rival the likes of any child. She was funny, her humors being even legendary among my friends. She was simple, omnia mea mecum porto, meaning all that I am I carry with me, an apt Latin adage to summarize her journey and her pleasures. She was private and dignified, deeply abhorring the airing of dirty laundry. How unfortunate that we live in a nation of perpetual rubberneckers craning over the likes of personal tragedy. How vexing for her. Yet she met it with a grin, even whilst her bile was churning inside. She was a gallant troublemaker, a youthful shrew the likes of Kate, running wild and free, eating bird peppers and throwing words like rocks. Boom. What was that? Oh, never mind. Leslie's at it again. And she was loving. More loving than the stars twinkling for hundreds of unripe youths just like me. How blessed we children are to have been held by a constellation the likes of my grandma. But even she, as vast as the sunrise, must end. Death, they say, is man's greatest equalizer, for all men are reminded that they come and go the same. We know this to be true, though I wish it were not. The purest of shrews should never be tamed, not even by death, but she was. And all we are left with is the memory of the greatest of grandmas ever to tell a story. And what a memory she is.
Think on, my one plain face, my sphere of fluent thought, that moves around itself because it's for everyone's side. These four walls we give for free, see layering technology. E-music compounds the home in which I am still heard, the house in which we are known, escaping with the bird. Returning once again I found music room behind. Our created instruments play perfectly in time. A dark horse I have been, change one's shady form, becoming my own rider of my storm. Writing a new wrong ways contained, depict you are, getting it. Teacup times better depicts the politics of their myopic crimes. They'll lock you up, they're bad in half. In steady progress I'm deliberation. From forward seeming back turned, and so that you can see around.
I was not aware of my real father until I was 12. And because I was so attached to my stepfather, I had no interest in finding out about that side of my family till I was older, till I was about 16, which is when I met my dad and my brothers. And he is my brother from that side just underneath me. So he was a year younger than me. So I knew him for about 2 years, and then he disappeared off the face of the earth for a year. And then the year after that is when we found out that he had been murdered. It really, really broke my heart, because obviously with my half brothers on my mum's side, I never really looked like them, and I never really felt like they acted like me. It was never an issue because we were such a big family and so diverse anyways that it was just love that mattered. But the brother that was gone, he looked a lot like me. He acted a lot like me. And because of that, it's like an automatic connection that I didn't quite expect. And to have that taken away before it could even be fully explored really, really broke my heart. I'm not afraid of love. A word, a phrase, something you say with your teeth, your tongue, your lips that you use to say, to prove, lips to kiss, lips to hiss, as the pain racks through your body and the sea of misery erupts. I'm drowning on the inside, crying on the out. I'm not afraid of love. I just prefer to pretend it doesn't exist. A piano's notes, a harp's twinge, or a violin's mellow cry, or all sounds I avoid, all reminding me of a question often asked of why I sabotaged a relationship from the start. Because you don't know. How do you know if you're giving your heart to an angel or selling your soul to the devil? I'm not afraid of love. I respect love, fear love, crave love of the purest part of my soul. I'd love to find my Adam, be his Eve. I know who I am and what I wish I could be. I'm not strong enough for what love promises to give. Everything I ever wanted, waited for or wished could last forever, but will inevitably lead to a cold end, colder than what I knew before, because I finally knew something other than alone. I knew of strong arms wrapped around my chocolate skin, of lips to kiss, lips to hiss. My emotional state is in a crisis, a disaster zone about to wrap its way into oblivion. With love, in love, love becomes my anchor, the only thing keeping me from falling into the black hole of my broken mind. I don't want to know what's on the other side, so please, don't judge me for wanting to hold on to the pieces of me. Because if I let go and let love hold me, and love lets go, then I'm left to pick up the pieces alone. I'm not afraid of love. I'm afraid of what comes after.
Suddenly Seymour is standing beside me. He don't give me orders. He don't condescend. Suddenly Seymour is here to provide me sweet understanding. Seymour's my man.
I suppose by the time I'm 30, more than anything else, I just sort of want to be happy and content with what I'm doing. I want to be in a job that is my passion, if, whatever that is. I mean, your passions change all the time. My passion right now is theater. It has been for the last, 20 years, and I'm only 20 now. But who's to say what'll happen tomorrow?
No one knows what postmodernism means. It's a really, really silly term. What's the difference between a postmodernist and a retrofuturist? How can you be after modern? Postmodernism is a complete bit of total, utter bullshit. You boast of your post-sexuality, your craven carnality, your gender duality, your great versatility, your great self-discovery, your creative facility, your spiritual alacrity. You recollect some great voyage when you were guided by fate. You were leading the world to a far greater state. Fought for Palestinians in Pakistan, sued for peace in Uganda, although, from your continued existence, I gather you did both while straight. You bear the great burden of being born middle class. With your moral duplicity and internalised fallacies, you don't sense any antipathy for your cross-cultural farce. How does one travel the world with one's head up one's arse? Strictly out of interest, please sate my curiosity. What exactly the fuck is pansexuality? What makes you not bi, straight or gay? Do you fuck furniture or beasts of the forest? Yes, you once worked as a florist and once wore a dress. Neither's courageous, neither outrageous. The former's a job and the latter is clothing, though I can't help but noting you carried it off well. You'll be a gorgeous young woman when your breasts finally swell. You talked about Tennyson, opined on Dickinson, while, as is my habit, I gave your bookshelf a scan, and you read aloud Tony Harrison as we sat in your garrison, 200 students and twats to a man. Occidental philology sits with Oriental philosophy, not one title under a century old. The dust, while aesthetically pleasing, is very revealing. Cracked spines of red leather, and I'm wondering whether you've read between a single fold. No. To your credit, with my complete condescension, you've read Siddhartha and Veda without comprehension. You hold some ludicrous notion of a great Eastern school. Get thee to an ashram, you know nothing at all. But you know what I hate, what I really despise? Your universal empathy and all that belies. You've done persecution, poverty, faced eviction and starved. You're a public schoolboy, that gap year must have been hard. You've been terribly oppressed, you complain without fail. Oh, how awful it is to be white, straight and male.
In the summertime when the weather is a little bit shady, pretty blue. Then I'm gonna come over the hill and I'm gonna see you. Past those pretty boxes where the light shines through. And then I'm gonna knock on your door and then we'll say do, do.
I can explain everything through the playing the piano and the saxophone. Yes.